going on, everybody? Welcome back to another podcast here of the Northern Minutemen, and I'm Mike, joined by Sam, and
Howdy,
this
howdy.
is episode 7, right?
Lucky number 7.
7, lucky number 7. Let's let's make sure that's lucky.
Actually, the number 7 is the number of completion, but we're not done here at
Right?
7.
Yeah, we're
Maybe it
we're
means that our first 7 episodes were practice, and we're done with practice.
yeah, yeah. That's a good way to look at it
Yeah,
because we're just gonna keep getting better.
that's right.
Yeah. So, um, last week we had a pretty fun episode with Blake, and we spoke briefly about the differences in 4473s and obligations and firearms transfers between states.
Mhm.
And we were expressing gratitude that it wasn't like New Jersey,
Yeah,
but wishing it was like Texas.
right, because there are a lot of states that have a heck of a worse time than we do
Yeah.
when it comes to owning a firearm that holds more than 10 rounds
Yep.
or ARs. I mean, yeah,
And I'd like to jump into that rabbit hole a bit.
let's do it.
You know,
Let's dive in.
we had some comments made on some clips I shared on Facebook that I appreciate them watching the clip,
Yeah.
and I appreciate them taking the time to make the comment.
It
Whether I
depends on the comment, though.
well, maybe what I appreciate is that they spent time on my Facebook page.
True,
But it
but it does matter what you say.
yeah, and it all week I've been thinking about how broad and how amazing the divisive opinion is of the Second Amendment,
Mhm.
and the processes that go with it. And by that I mean the 4473, or when you can and cannot transfer a firearm without paperwork or a background check. Um, and at first, I was frustrated at what would lead people to think so broadly about it.
Okay, first of all, tell me what somebody said that made you bring this up. There had to be one comment that stood out where you were like, "Dude, no."
Well, there was only 2 comments, and I know the people that left the comments, and I think that they're just awesome people.
Yeah, you don't have to name names. I just
Yeah.
wanna know what they said.
Yeah, and, one person commented to the effect of being able to buy whatever they want, whenever they want, and shouldn't be questioned. That's their Second Amendment right.
Okay,
And, the other one just said, "Give them an inch, they'll take a mile, uh,
that's true.
and it shall not be infringed," and that's just paraphrasing their comment.
Yep.
So, at first, I was frustrated, and then during the week, I read into detail, unlike I had ever before. What is the Constitution? What is the Second Amendment? What is its purpose, and why is it there, and how is it structured?
Mhm.
And I came out of the week understanding nothing. My mind is in pain. It hurts because it's just so much to it.
Yeah,
But with what limited experience I have as a law enforcement officer, I will say first and foremost, there are people that should not have or have access to firearms. They're dangerous,
yep.
and I don't want them around me or my kids or kids in general, you know? And, I I don't know. It might ruffle a lot of feathers, but I appreciate the fact that I have to fill out a 4473 to get a firearm because I just don't want somebody having a firearm that shouldn't have it.
Yeah.
And
Well,
that
what does the Second Amendment say?
well,
You
it's
I'll quote it.
okay.
"A well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people shall not be infringed."
Yeah.
Yeah. "The right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed."
Now what is infringement?
Infringement is anytime the government comes in and starts meddling with your affairs. That's
Or
infringement
taking away that right.
or taking away rights.
Yeah, what structures that amendment? And, the Constitution is a living, breathing document.
First of all, well-regulated militia, what is the first thing that comes to mind?
Militia.
Which is what?
It's like the National Guard, or
So,
today's version of the National
but
Guard.
if you turn on the news, if you hear militia in the news, what do you think?
Terrorists?
terrorist or a hate group.
Yeah,
They take words, so the media takes words and spins them and takes the original intent and makes it look like something that is terrible.
yeah. So
A militia is a group of people, citizens that are well trained and are proficient with their firearms. Regulated doesn't mean regulated by the government, it means well trained.
yeah,
Well regulated means well trained.
in the days of our Constitution's, inception, that well-regulated militia was a bunch of Minutemen.
Ragtag landowners
Yeah,
that banded together
yeah,
to fight off an invading army.
and even they didn't want the crazies having guns.
Th- Were there crazies then?
They had to be crazies. There was
You
always
probably had your
crazies.
town drunk,
Yeah.
but I don't know if you had
I
crazies.
mean, you didn't want the witch or the one you wanted to burn at the stake,
I think
you
that was
know?
before 1776. I
Well,
think we got that out of our system in the
they
1600s.
always had their witches, man.
That's true.
But it
Okay, I'm with you.
always, since the first firearm, they didn't just wanna hand them out to anybody. They didn't wanna go to a gas station and be able to walk out with a grenade and an M16.
Are we still talking about 1776?
Yes,
There were no gas stations.
I traveled back in time.
And you couldn't buy a rifle in a gas station. You had to go to a gunsmith
Yeah,
that made them.
yep. Like
There were
the
no mass manufacturers of
yeah,
rifles. They had government contracts and they filled them.
I
And what
had
they had left over is what they sold to the civilian population.
yeah, it blew my mind when I went down one of those rabbit holes again and read about the first rifled, um, firearm.
Yeah, the Kentucky.
Yeah, the Kentucky long rifle
Yep.
or the Pennsylvanian long rifle,
Yep.
depending on who you talk to or what,
Mhm.
you know, but it was amazing, and what blew my mind as a gunsmith was watching them replicate putting that rifling in that barrel.
Oh, yeah.
Very painstaking
Yeah.
process,
Yep.
but it was an instrument, if not the key to winning that war,
Mhm.
'cause it took that muzzle loader or that musket from 100 yards to several hundred
Yep.
yards. Yeah, it
It's
it caused terror. It changed the whole battlefield.
another thing that changed the battlefield. The way the British fought is they would line up as a division,
Mhm.
and it was an honorable way to fight. And they would line up and they would shoot, and then they would drop to a knee, and then the guys behind would line up and shoot. And the Americans adapted guerrilla warfare, and they began fighting in an ungentlemanly way, where they would shoot from cover
Yeah,
using trees and ridge lines. And the British thought we were cowards and ungentlemanly for fighting that way.
yeah, but it was only a matter of time until the whole world followed suit because they realized just how brilliant that was.
Exactly.
The gentleman takes a back seat in combat,
Hmm.
and the warrior comes forth.
Oh, amen.
Yeah,
That is that sounds like a Sun Tzu quote.
yeah.
You're
That's a
getting deep on me, Mike.
that's a Mike Boyd quote.
That's a Mike Boyd quote. That needs to be on a T-shirt or a coffee cup.
It might have to be. I got a laser machine I need to
You
practice
need
with,
to make that one.
yeah. But coming back to the whole Second Amendment, well-regulated militia.
Well-trained militia.
Yeah, but that 4473 today is regulatory.
Mm.
So it's
It's a
it's
different type of regulatory.
right, but it's still a regulation, and I
Yep.
and I, I get it. It's a necessary step
Mhm.
that has had to become a necessary step because of because society has evolved.
People have changed.
People, yeah,
The
and
society has changed.
and if every single person that was a part of society had the overall protection of communities, towns, cities, America in their best interest, maybe there wouldn't have to be that need.
Yeah.
But there are people that walk about our towns, our communities that want to rob and harm anybody they can to get ahead.
Yeah.
They don't need to have a firearm.
Yep.
And I don't, you say what you want to, but that should not be a barrier I have to face or worry about living in America.
Mhm.
And yeah, they'll get their firearms and they may go through whatever they have to get that firearm, but they should not have the same liberties to attain that firearm that I do.
Right.
As a law abiding citizen, I have that luxury.
So as a law-abiding citizen, there should be few and far between regulations that are on you.
Right.
But when you are no longer a law abiding citizen and now you're a felon and somebody who has a repeat history of doing felonious activity, your rights get removed. So if you're a felon and you come into off grid to purchase a firearm, I don't want you to have one.
Yeah.
That's why we have the National Instant Criminal Background Check System run by the FBI. 5 minutes, I get a yes, a no, or a delayed.
Yeah.
And if you're a no purchaser, I'm thankful for that.
Yep.
We don't get many, by the way. I mean, it happens maybe 3 or 4 times a year.
Yeah. I've never had one.
It will happen eventually.
It is, in the grand scheme of things, and when you take a step back and look at what all is involved with the Second Amendment and what all it takes to get a firearm into the hands of a law-abiding citizen, that's not much.
Right.
You know, you could be delayed, you could have been told no, you could have been scrutinized by local law enforcement for reasons they don't have to explain to you right away because they can argue that that's their right and they have probable cause, whatever. But to be able to come into a place like Off-Grid Armory, fill out that 4473,
Mhm.
submit it electronically now because that's amazing that you can do that.
Yeah.
Wait that 5 to 10 minutes while you look around at other things like,
Mhm.
maybe a new,
Ammo,
yeah, ammo or
holsters,
stickers or,
a new red dot for my handgun.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then you get the thumbs up. You've got the peace of mind knowing that the
F
federal government thinks of you the same way you
Yep.
do.
FBI said yes.
Yeah. So
Yep.
you're good to go on all levels
Yep.
of government. And
Yep.
you can walk out of wherever you want to walk out with that firearm. That's a good feeling.
Yeah.
And whether you like it or not, you have to do that.
I've had people say, what if somebody bought a handgun or a rifle from you and then went and did something bad with it? How would you be able to sleep at night? And it's like, you know what? When that person is buying that firearm, it's not off grid saying, yes, you can have this rifle. It's the Federal Bureau of Investigation that is saying, this is an approved purchaser. They are allowed to own this piece of equipment.
Yeah.
So
If
it's completely off of me.
right. They can walk into Off-Grid Army and buy a firearm and go do harm with it.
Yeah.
Or they can go into any other store,
Hmm.
buy that same
Yep.
firearm with those same intentions and cause that same harm. It's not the fault of the gun seller. It's not the fault of anybody but the person behind the 2 ears
Dude,
making those decisions.
you're bringing up an amazing topic right now because Daniel Defense has been sued how many times because a Daniel Defense rifle has been used in a mass shooting? They have sued the manufacturer of the firearm.
At least 3 times.
And that has made me so angry.
Yeah,
That's like a drunk driver getting into a Cadillac and then driving that Cadillac into a Christmas parade, killing 30 people.
yeah,
And then Cadillac being sued because of what that driver did.
or the tire manufacturer.
It
Yeah.
drives me absolutely mad that our society is like, oh yeah, Cadillac is responsible.
Is is it
How?
is it society or is it some obnoxious lawyer
It's
saying that they
it's
can do
it's the lawyers, it's the litigation process, it's the I can get rich if I take this to a lawsuit level.
right?
I'm gonna try to attach liability to anybody who looks like they can afford it.
And that is, I think, what angers me about it.
Hmm.
The money to be had
Yep.
behind it.
It has nothing to do with bringing back life or making what was wrong right.
It's how many more yachts or pieces of land can I buy off of this obnoxious lawsuit,
It's how much can I get paid?
right?
I'm gonna make money off of
And they're
this.
not concerned that they're wrecking it for the rest of us,
Mhm.
that they're causing the necessity for case law that shouldn't have ever been drafted, there was no need for,
Yep.
but they're looking at the dollars they can take out of somebody's pocket
Yep.
because
Exactly.
because there's a judge that's obligated to listen to that headache,
This subject makes my blood boil.
right? Like, I have to admit, I've thought a few times about suing, Wrangler because my pants didn't fit, you
You
know?
should. They
Or
only don't fit right after Thanksgiving.
well, and Christmas, and my birthday, and my anniversary, and on Mondays.
Uh,
But yeah, it's
I need to sue the spoon manufacturer
'cause they don't hold
because
enough?
well, no, because it makes me eat ice cream.
Well, sue the cows, man. You know,
Oh gosh.
it I don't know.
How many
It's
times do you think Glock has been sued? They keep that tightly under wraps too. I
yeah,
have never heard of a lawsuit on Glock. I guarantee they have been sued 1,000 times,
yeah.
if not more.
I don't know. Um, you only ever hear good things about Glock
True.
until they were
By the way, the Glock, you remember the 19V and the 17V that we showed you in the last episode?
mhm,
Somebody has already turned it into a full auto.
yeah. I saw some gunsmith that I follow in Arkansas that said, "Well, that didn't take long."
It literally took 24 hours and
Yep.
somebody already put a modified Glock switch in it and turned that bad boy full auto. And the reason they discontinued all the prior Glocks was to make it unswitchable. And guess what? It's switchable.
Yep. The the
I think it was a gimmick from Glock to sell guns.
When it sold a lot.
They okay, so all Glocks sold overnight in 12 hours. Every distributor was sold out. And I'm telling you, the amount of inventory these distributors had was millions of dollars worth of Glocks, and they sold in 12 hours to make way for the Gen V.
And the CEOs of Glock are kicking back, smoking their cigars, laughing at everybody.
It was a gimmick.
Yeah, it had to be.
It was a gimmick,
There was no reason for any of it.
and I fell for it.
Well, you're a gun store.
I
You
know, but I
I
still feel like I fell for it.
did you fall for it or did you capitalize on the opportunity?
I mean, we sort of capitalized on it. We ended up selling half of the Glocks we had in inventory in one day.
Glock G
The
or
original
the
Glocks.
original Glock?
We ended up selling half our inventory in one day. FN did the same thing with the Scar. They ended all civilian production of the Model 17S in 308 and the 16S in 556. And in 12 hours, we sold all of our Scars. And I was like, what's going on? Because they're an expensive rifle.
That's
The
awesome.
17S is like $3,500.
Yeah. I I think I've got a list that I put together somewhere that firearm is on that list, and I don't know if it's because it's so awesome or
It
because
is awesome.
of how big that price tag is.
It's an awesome rifle.
Yeah.
But yeah, they did the same thing. They're like, we're discontinuing all sales to civilians. And then they were gone.
Yeah. You know, they're the powers that be in such decisions have got to know what they're doing, and what their intention is not what they tell the world.
No,
It just can't be.
I think it's all about sales.
Yeah, because in the market for striker fire pistols, when sales dip or it becomes too competitive, you can make such a bizarre claim as to change your entire assembly or your entire product line,
Hmm.
which anybody that buys a firearm or buys firearms knows that that means anything before that change will be historical or it will increase in value.
Hmm.
So yeah, you know, people stand before a microphone and make such comments, and the market just goes nuts by design.
Yeah. We
And it,
rabbit trailed slightly, though. I need you to get back on point.
you
Infringement.
you made me rabbit trail.
I did go back to infringement. We need to discuss this more because this is one of my favorite topics.
So infringement, anytime there's case law or a decision or a politician that votes in a way that you don't agree with, that's not necessarily infringement. When when a sheriff's department or a county or a state says you can't have firearms, period, that's infringement. When they say that you have to
Unless I'm a Fallon.
right. So generally speaking with the Second Amendment, you know, you have the ability as a law-abiding citizen to own a firearm. When they infringing upon that would be somebody saying you've gotta have
Okay, hold on a second. I'm going to play devil's advocate. I'm on your Facebook and I'm punching in. Yeah, but the US military, they have rocket launchers. I should be able to have one too. I've heard this before too from my people on Facebook. They're like, infringement, this is, I'm supposed to be able to have everything that the military has. I should have access to it. What say you? Be honest.
you can have access to everything the military has. Go see your recruiter.
I tell people the same
Yeah.
thing. People come in and they see my inert rocket launchers on the wall and they're
Mhm.
like, is that loaded? Can I buy that? And I'm like, that is a one and done. And if you want to shoot a live one,
Yep.
US Army recruiters in Bemidji.
And there have been people that have made comments about how the VA paid for my kidney transplant, and I just tell them, uh, "The recruiting office was open for you too,
Wait, did they argue that they shouldn't have?
right? Taxpayers paid for that." Yeah, as going through what I went through for the United States Marine Corps, that was a service guaranteed to me as a veteran.
You know what's funny? Okay, we're gonna come back to this. I just gotta tell a quick story. So
Rabbit hole?
it's a slight small rabbit hole, but it's a good story and it's
Okay.
a short
Yeah.
story. So when I had just gotten out of the Navy, I was living in Hawaii with my wife. Um, I got out of the Navy so I could attend college. I paid for the GI Bill when I was active duty. I paid for it out of my paycheck. That's how the GI Bill comes about, is they pay for it. So I went to college and I paid for it with the GI Bill. And I was a resident of Hawaii, so I was paying resident tuition. And I was bartending on the side at a Coast Guard Naval Air Station in Barbers Point, Hawaii. So, anyways, I built a motorcycle while I was in college. I built a Harley and I used the extra money that I had from my GI Bill to fund the build of my motorcycle. But the way I was able to do that is I was paying resident tuition and I was working a second job. I used my GI Bill for my college education, but I also used it for my living expenses and to build this motorcycle, which was transportation to my schooling. Well, I told a guy in Minnesota when we were at Itasca, I told him the story about how I built this motorcycle and how I used some of the money from my GI Bill to build this motorcycle. And he got super angry with me and he said, "So I own your motorcycle, so I can just go get on it and go take it for a ride since I paid for it?" And I was like, "Okay, you and I can't be friends."
Would you? Yeah.
I was so mad when he said that. I was like, "Man, I just told you a story about blood, sweat, to tears, and determination, and you are spinning it into, I paid for your motorcycle, I own it." I was like, "What? You totally misunderstood this story I just told you."
Right. Because you left the military to go to college and not pay taxes either.
What?
You know,
I
you
pay nothing but taxes. What are
right.
you talking
That's
about?
what I'm saying. Like
Come on.
there are hateful people that just despise veterans because of the benefits they've earned, and they say my taxes paid for your tuition or my taxes paid
Dude,
for your health care.
no,
What about my
no.
taxes?
Okay, when you're active duty military, you're making $350 a week.
Right.
I'm telling you, you get paid so little, you qualify for poverty level welfare
Right.
according to the state.
There are people today in Minnesota that qualify for and use government assistance that have a better way of life than I did as a private first class in the
Dude,
Marine Corps.
amen.
But I asked for that,
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
and that being single, living in a barracks.
Dude, if I heard somebody say that they were upset that the VA paid for your health care,
Yeah.
I would slap that person.
People have said, in fact, I think there was a post,
Oh gosh.
the Dove program is an amazing nonprofit organization that was instrumental in getting me my living donation.
Hmm.
They posted a picture of me next to my wife in the hospital the day or 2 days after my transplant,
Yep.
and some random person commented, "You're welcome."
Whoever you were, you
Yeah.
suck.
Right,
You're welcome.
and my response was, "I know." Like,
Oh,
I
you're a bigger
have
man than me, Mike.
well, I have an endless list of amazing people,
Oh
and
my
at the top of
gosh.
that list are two phenomenal women and my wife that I will forever be thankful for,
Yeah.
but what else could I say to such a fool? You know, let's troll this veteran that just got a life-saving kidney transplant. It says nothing about me or my transplant and everything about the jackass you are,
Yeah. Why
you
are
know,
there always trolls? Trolls are
because
always trolling.
they,
Are they just unhappy?
daddy issues.
Daddy
Daddy
issues.
issues, mommy issues,
Let's
daddy
stick with
issues.
that. They got daddy issues.
Yeah,
So next
and
time I meet a troll on Facebook, can I just type daddy issues?
daddy issues. Hashtag daddy issues. Hashtag daddy issues.
Oh, man, that
Yeah.
sucks.
Yeah, and it doesn't bother me because I
But it does. When you initially read it, you get that spike of
oh,
adrenaline,
yeah, at first I was like, "What the hell?"
that little
Yeah,
shock, and you're like, "I'm about to strangle somebody."
right.
And then it's like, "Oh, okay. It's actually not that big a deal."
Yeah, I put my phone down and finished my liquid dinner.
Yeah.
Yeah, 'cause I couldn't have I drank my beef broth and, you know, thought about, "Is it time for my next rounds of meds yet?" or
Dude, people are
whatever.
just rude.
Yeah, it's a
Why?
what good would come from that?
Why would somebody
Like
say it's always a person who did not serve their country that says that.
right.
And they
Or
don't understand the sacrifice, the 4 or 6 year sacrifice you just gave to your nation.
or they think that their situation is worse. I got fired from my 3rd shift at Walmart. To hell with
Dude,
you and your kidney. It's like, well,
I'm telling you, I spent 4 years. I can't even explain it. It was like living in the hood, like the ghetto, ultra poverty, the barracks falling apart. Like, you know what I'm talking about? You were in the Marine Corps barracks. They were worse than the Navy barracks. The Navy barracks
Yeah.
were falling apart, man.
Yeah.
I mean, it was bad. You didn't want to get on the elevator because you might be on it when those cables snap. That's how old this building was.
You know,
I mean, the elevator would open halfway between floors. I'm not joking.
yeah,
The door would open and the floors would be right there, and you'd have to crawl out.
that's 'cause someone drunk was passed out underneath it. Is that
Oh,
where the Marine barracks was?
I can't,
Under the elevator?
dude. No, the Marine barracks were on a totally different base because if we were on the same base, we wouldn't have been able to fight wars with other nations because we would have been fighting with each other.
Yeah, it's funny how when you're stateside, you hate each other with a vengeance,
So true.
but then you go to war and you're like, "Whoa, whoa, 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 whoa! Only I can call them that."
That's
It's like,
right.
only I can kick them when they're down. You can't do it. Let's go beat them up. Come on, buddy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
When you meet a Marine in downtown Waikiki, it's I'm about to get in a fist fight, the fight of my life. Get this on video, guys.
right.
And then when you're in another country and you meet a Marine on the street, it's ultra camaraderie.
Yeah.
It's let me buy you as many drinks as you can hold, and I got your tab.
Well, it's like
And you're going to wake up on a Navy base, not a Marine Corps
yeah.
base.
You mean 5-star? You're gonna wake up on a bed with springs, not a cot. A warm meal that you don't have to make yourself.
Yeah,
You know.
bed spring mattress with no mattress that's got the red and the black cables hooked to it. Give me a little shock once in a while.
Yeah. I don't remember where I was at. I think it was Guam, but
Guam is the armpit of everywhere.
yeah. And
It is so ghetto.
there was actually a bad part of Guam, the base,
I remember.
and I said, "What is that?" And they said, "That's the Marine Corps barracks."
Dude,
And
we
the-
had snakes in our rooms
yeah,
in Guam.
we one field day, and this was in Camp Pendleton in Las Pulgas, 43 area. When we were doing field day, it was before I went to Iraq, so I think I hadn't been in the military very long.
Mhm.
And during my very first field day of this barracks, I counted 3 rats, or maybe it was the same rat back and forth. But and I thought, where am I at? And then someone else said, "Welcome to hell, buddy."
Yeah, Guam is like a ghetto jungle. That's the perfect way to describe Guam. Ghetto
Well,
jungle.
the armpit's a good way to describe it because it's sweaty and everything
Oh, it's so
stinks,
hot and gross.
sticky.
Oh,
You just your biggest question most days is, should I shower just to come right back out and feel the same way?
yeah.
Or
The only saving grace for Guam is if you are a person who likes to dive in warm coral reef. Guam is like Mecca
yeah,
for that.
I don't like to dive. Period.
I don't either.
I just don't. So it sucked.
I only
I
like
didn't.
to dive in steel tubes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. What about carbon fiber tubes?
No, pass. I will pass.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, especially an experimental
Right.
carbon fiber tube.
You know, and it's the same. It's the same. What is it called? What was it called? again?
Ocean Gate.
Ocean Gate. The same kind of CEO-minded people are in charge of Glock.
No, 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 no.
Because if they weren't, maybe we would have never seen the V series.
Oh,
You know, but maybe that was too far.
yeah, it was
You
too
know.
far. You can't compare Ocean Gate to Glocky. That was a reach.
Yeah, I tried. We'll just edit this out, I guess.
No, leave it. They need to see the train wreck
They do.
with the glory.
The train wreck that started from the very beginning of the podcast. This is supposed to be a good podcast.
All right, we rabbit trailed slightly.
Yeah.
Back to infringement.
So,
I want to own a rocket launcher, Mike. Why can't I?
well, why was that rocket launcher designed, and what is its purpose?
Okay. Rocket launcher was designed as a shoulder fired rocket propelled grenade because it could propel much farther than you could throw it. And it was designed to either take out a room in a building or a group of people from a distance
Or vehicles?
or vehicles.
Yeah.
Yes. Thank you for that. Yeah. It was designed to also take out vehicles.
So, massive catastrophe, massive damage,
Yes.
very quick, very effective.
Very.
And who was it designed for?
Designed during war for the U.S. military to use.
By the Department of Defense?
Yes.
Okay, so it wasn't designed for civilians.
No.
It wasn't designed to be used, carried, or possessed in the streets
Nope.
or outside of military bases.
Can I say thank God you can't buy a rocket launcher? To the guy on the post that said, why can I not buy a rocket launcher? I'm like, thank God you can't.
Yeah.
I
It-
am a pro Second Amendment guy, and I am saying thank God you can't.
Does the Second Amendment extend to rocket launchers, machine guns, grenades, tanks? Does the Second Amendment apply to all
So
armament?
you can legally own a machine gun. I can sell you one, but it's expensive and it's an NFA process.
Are there boundaries to where you can carry that firearm?
You can't carry a machine gun. I mean, you can take it to the range, you can use it on your property at home, but you can't just like carry it in your vehicle just on the daily.
Because there's laws against that.
I don't think there's laws against it, but it's an investment. You know, like a machine gun's going to cost you, they start at $15,000 and go up.
Right.
I mean, the number one way that bad guys get guns is they steal them out of vehicles. I
Don't-
wouldn't want to lose a $15,000 investment from one broken window.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good
There's
point.
really no law against me carrying it in a case in my vehicle. I could do it every day of my life if I wanted to, but it's expensive.
So I'm this coming week I'll do more homework on whether or not the Second Amendment extends to anything firearm, you know,
Mhm.
because where does it stop?
Because you can
I?
also own a tank.
Yeah,
You can buy one. They're about $200,000.
but can you buy a tank that's fully operable?
You can get a destructive license, which is a rigorous process. I do not have a destructive license. You can also get an explosives license. You can get certain licenses by playing the game. You can jump through the hoops. You can get the proper licenses. And there are places where you can go shoot a tank where they have a live barrel,
And I think
but it's heavily regulated.
the regulations,
Mhm.
the hoops, the paperwork, the licenses, the fees, I think a lot of people argue all of that is infringement when it's not.
I get that.
Well, I can understand it. Believe
I
me, I can
can.
understand it, but it's there. It is necessary
Mhm.
because you don't want everybody owning this stuff.
Right.
Just because, I mean, you can argue need. Who is to say my need is what it is?
You're reminding me of the movie Falling Down with Kurt Russell. Remember that movie?
Nope.
He goes straight up postal. He's like an office worker and he just loses it one day. He gets tired of the daily grind of just doing the same thing over and over again. And he literally snaps and he goes to a pawn shop. And the guy in the pawn shop has a back room and he's got like rocket launchers and all kinds of guns and whatever. And he ends up taking this stuff and he just wreaks havoc. It's a great movie. Homework for you for next week. Watch the movie Falling Down.
I want to say, is there a part of it where he has a s- uh, a fight with some gang members?
Yes.
I think I have seen it.
Watch it again.
Okay.
Good movie.
Um,
But I mean, what if you were having a bad day and you're like, you know what? I'm going to use my rocket launcher.
yeah. Street-
That's where I fall into the camp. Not everybody should have, nobody should have one.
where do you draw the line? Should I be able to drop my kids off with a fully loaded Apache helicopter?
One?
I'd love to have one.
How-
Too much. I don't know, a couple 100 million?
Couple 100 million. And the minigun in the nose of an Apache, that's $250,000
Unloaded.
unloaded.
How many rounds can it carry? 500, 5,000?
Well, I can tell you it shoots 3,000 rounds a minute.
Yeah, so it's
So you're talking $3,500 a minute just to feed it.
So as it fires, it gets better fuel mileage.
It does. It gets lighter.
But there's no need for anyone to own that. And I know there's gonna be a lot of people that disagree with me because of the whole infringement in the Second
I gotta
Amendment.
stop you. I gotta stop you right there. You said there's no need for anyone to own that.
But
Whose job is it to tell me what I can own and what I can't own? Now we're getting in the weeds.
yeah, and I think this is where the debate
I
begins
mean, do you get to tell me what I can own and what I can't own?
on this podcast and
That's
in this moment, yes.
that is
I'm
that
just
is
kidding.
this is where people have the
Yeah.
issues. This is where they get hung up. They're like,
What
"Hey, how do you have authority over me telling me what I can own and what
yeah.
I don't can't own? If I have $250 million laying around and I have a helicopter's license, whose business is it to tell me that I cannot buy an Apache helicopter and fly it to work?
Well, I'm talking about the machine gun at the end of it,
I
you know.
can buy a chain gun.
Can you?
I can buy a minigun.
Okay. Oh.
They're $250,000.
So it is just my opinion that, if it became law where it was legal and everyone can buy them, fine.
Mhm.
But I personally just don't think it's necessary. Now,
Who gets to say what's necessary for you and
well,
what's necessary for me?
that's a good question. Is it a moral discussion, an ethical discussion, or a legal discussion?
Right?
When it comes to law,
Mhm.
that would fall on the government and our Congress.
But should the government be able to tell me what I can own and what I can't own, and where does that
Right.
end?
And why
Eventually, it's gonna get to the point where the government is like, "You are gonna grow corn on this 120 acres that you own,
yeah,
Sam, and on that 40, you're gonna grow wheat, and then you're gonna give it to us once you harvest it."
and we'll pay you what we want.
Be like, "Wait, who
Yeah,
are you to tell me what I am gonna do with my property, which my funds are my property?"
I get it, and I
I'm just playing devil's advocate.
oh, and it's making for a great conversation.
Yeah.
These kinds of debates, I think, helped to shape our country 200 years ago,
When they wrote that Constitution,
right?
they were on their knees praying to God for guidance
Yeah.
on how to structure this new nation.
Can you imagine the angered debates they would have?
Oh, Lord. These guys were angry and yelling and screaming at each other. And
Someone's in the corner with a quilled pen trying to keep up with it.
yeah,
But talking about all of this, I understand and I support the disagreement, and I strongly support everybody's right to feel and argue their point.
hmm
It I'm not saying that it needs to be law. I'm not saying that they're wrong. I'm just saying that I don't know necessarily. Maybe it's because I spent 9 years in the Marine Corps around that stuff, and I saw firsthand what it can do.
yeah.
Maybe it's because I saw in the 4 or 5 years I was a state trooper what this stuff can do.
So to me, from my military experience, small arms are nothing on the Richter scale. I mean, we're dropping tomahawks
Yeah.
on villages. That is a weapon of
I mean,
war.
like what hell can a torpedo rain on
Ah, it'd
on
break the back of any ship in the ocean.
the worst way
A
to
$1,000,000 a piece.
yeah, the worst way to die in the military, I swear, would be a submarine struck underwater.
Gosh.
That is just think for a second. You
Mhm.
lose power, you
Yep.
don't know where the air's at, and
Yep.
you're sinking.
Yep.
But the
Small arms
yeah,
are nothing on the Richter scale.
right,
And then I hear someone on CNN calling an AR-15 a weapon of war, and I'm like, "No, a Tomahawk cruise missile is a weapon of war.
right.
An AR-15 is a semi-automatic rifle that is smaller than my semi-automatic deer rifle.
Yeah. Yeah, and yeah, I don't know, I
A
mean,
223 round is a 22 bullet."
yep. But is there so let me ask, where would you if you could, where would you draw that line?
Okay. I think people should be able to own machine guns. I do, personally.
You should
I think people should be able to own machine guns, regulated like they are now. They're expensive. You can buy a transferable machine gun. It's like a and I know there's probably gonna be people upset with me because I'm saying this.
That's okay.
Some people are gonna say, "Well, I should be able to have a machine gun." Well, we have a background check process for a reason. You have to be an approved purchaser. The guys that are gonna go after these things, if they're just open market, are gonna be the bad guys.
Yeah.
They're gonna be the ones running towards it, mostly.
Yep.
Right now, the way it's structured, you can get a machine gun. They're expensive. It's an NFA process. They check your background, and if you're an approved purchaser, you can own it. And I have sold 12 machine guns to 12 different people, and they have all been approved people, and it's legal. I have 76 machine guns in this building, but I'm not just a guy. I have a manufacturer's license through the ATF.
And these machine guns are for sale?
No. These machine guns are for me to own, to use on a range, for people to rent. They come in, we go out on the range. They get to see what it's like to shoot a Thompson submachine gun
Yeah.
or an MG-42 from World War II or an M60 from Vietnam. They're too expensive to own.
Yep.
Nobody has them. You can come here, experience what it's like, and then go on your merry way.
You know, I'm about to say something that I think will show exactly why I thought this podcast with the two of us would be such a great idea.
Say it.
Because though we are so similar,
Mhm.
I think that there are some foundational things that we don't agree on.
Yep.
I
I'm
I
okay with that.
Yeah, and you and I both served our militaries or
Mhm.
served our country in different branches of the military, and a large part of that was fighting for the right for people's rights
First Amendment rights.
to choose,
Mhm.
to feel the way they wanna feel,
To speak.
argue, and to speak.
Mhm.
You have the right to believe what you wanna believe,
Yep.
support what you wanna support, and
Mhm.
speak what you wanna speak, and I love that. That vindicates my 9 years of sacrifice to the United States Marine Corps,
Amen.
and I I don't agree with a lot of what people do, say, and I just don't,
Yeah.
but I support their freedoms to live their lives.
Mhm.
I don't agree with abortion.
I
I
don't
just
either.
don't.
I don't
I
either.
think it's horrible in every way.
Yep.
I don't agree with, I'm not gonna go down rabbit
Can
holes
I
or
say something super controversial? I need you to say yes.
yes.
I believe that the reason why so many people are doing bad things publicly nowadays is because of abortion.
It was a gateway?
Life has lost its value
Absolutely,
because of abortion.
right. What would it be if,
In the 1950s, life had more value than it does today.
yeah,
It did. It was sacred. It was holy. It was something not to be tampered with. It
right,
was a lot to take a life. And now, today in our society, we are so willy nilly about, oh, just abort that baby.
yeah.
It's
No,
inconvenient.
no, abort that fetus.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
that's right. It's not a baby.
right. Even it's not a baby until the parents decide to take it home.
This part of the
Yeah,
podcast, we're going to get some heat.
yeah. But they've gotta know,
That's what I believe.
like, you and I are both God-fearing men that
Amen.
served in the military,
Life has lost its value.
and I want everybody that listens to this podcast to know that I support their right to disagree.
Amen.
I support their right to live their lives how
Yep.
they want to feel and how they wanna live them. Just understand that not everybody will always agree with those choices and those decisions.
Yep.
Um, but going back to the controversy that I think would make the contrast to why I think you and I would have such a good podcast is I don't think people should own machine guns.
Tell me
Uh,
why.
I've been to Iraq twice. I have I have been on the giving and receiving end of a machine gun, and it sucks to be on the receiving end of any fully automatic firearm.
Yep.
You could be shooting a fully automatic 22 rimfire, and you don't want to receive that end of it. You know,
I can see that.
it's scary.
But what if I told you that the people who are buying machine guns are the people who would never use one to hurt another person?
Can you guarantee that?
You can't guarantee your next breath.
Right. But should you play on that gray area? Like,
But it's not a
you
gray area. In
I
1934, they became an NFA regulated item.
right,
where if you paid a $200 tax for the privilege to own it and went through the NFA process, you could purchase one of the 75,000 transferable machine guns that are available in the United States.
Right. Okay. I'm not,
It's a very small group.
yeah.
385 million people in the country, and there's only 75,000 of these guns in existence.
And I can appreciate that it's difficult to get your hands on a machine gun.
It is
If
very.
if not only because of the price, I bet the price point alone turns most people
Oh, it
away.
does.
And that's why you can only find them at range houses
Mhm.
or, places you can enjoy them and then walk away from that.
So do you think that at Off Grid, I shouldn't have 76 machine guns for people to rent?
No, no, no,
I
no.
will not judge you by
No,
your
no, no.
answer. Tell the truth.
I love how I can walk out back and just
Shoot at
spray all
full ammo.
day, right?
Yeah.
But I don't think it should be possible for me to walk up to a gun counter, buy a 50 caliber Browning automatic machine gun, and take it home.
Do you know how much that gun cost?
50, $60,000,
150
brand new or used?
used.
Used.
$150,000.
How many?
So knowing that it's $150,000 for you to own that gun, what kind of person are you that can walk in and slap that on a black card?
Responsible person?
What makes you say that person's responsible?
Anybody that can manage that kind of money has to be responsible. You cannot be irresponsible and have that kind of value. You could for a minute. Say you win the lottery at $150,000 and you're an irresponsible person. By the end of the month, you're back to where you started.
Yeah.
If you're responsible, then yeah. And maybe the price point's set where they are because it weeds out the irresponsible from the responsible. Um,
Price point is what it is because the available quantity is so limited. That's what makes the prices.
how much of that price tag goes to the government?
Only $200
The-
and the tax that's collected on the item.
Okay. Do you so the federal government or the FBI has no say over the price tag on
No,
that? Okay.
it's created by the owner of the firearm,
By the market.
by the market.
By the market.
Yep.
Um, do you think do you think bringing down the price tag on those machine guns would be a problem?
The price will never go down.
What
It'll
just
only go.
for example, tomorrow it's Monday and all of a sudden those Browning M2 automatic machine guns are 5 grand.
It would never happen.
I know it wouldn't. I know it wouldn't.
It's a reality that I
Yeah.
can't comprehend
But
because it can't happen.
if it did,
Yep.
and you had a 50 cal in every other front yard, I just
I mean, if the FBI is saying that person is an approved purchaser, I mean, I'm kind of with you on that. I wouldn't want crazy Tom on the other side of my valley. There is no Tom on the other side of the valley, by the way. But I wouldn't want crazy Tom having a fully automatic M2 Modus. But is it my entitlement to say what Tom can have?
to say it, sure, it's your First Amendment right,
It's true. It is my First Amendment right.
but to have any authority,
I get people on our page all the time. We're doing a full auto Friday video and it'll have 300 comments and the first 150 are amazing. And then the last 150 are nobody should be able to own that. You remind me of the school shooter from such and such. It's like, what are you talking about?
yeah, they're not seeing the video
Nobody
for what
should
it
own
is.
that. And it's like, guys, I am a manufacturer in '07 through the ATF.
And
Like, took 4 years to
Yeah.
get this license.
I was just gonna say that process is not easy, and they don't
No.
they don't give it to just anybody.
No.
Um, and, I love those videos for the same reasons. I love big trucks with big tires ripping through mud. It's like, "Yes, America,
Right.
give me more, yeah."
I do kind of agree with you, though, that not everybody should have. And that's where the government is coming from, too. The government is saying, we have machine guns, we have rocket launchers, we have tanks, we have Apaches with miniguns on them, but you shouldn't have it.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think that paints an amazing picture of what pisses a lot of people off.
Yes.
Like, you don't want me to have what you have because then that second Civil War wouldn't be so easy to win.
Right.
You as the government should not have that much authority over what I have in my home,
Hmm.
and I completely agree.
Yep.
But what I keep going back to is the people who wish to do harm should not be able to get the firearms as easy as I do. And
But if
I'm
somebody has never committed a crime before, if somebody has never done a crime, they have a clean background, they are an approved purchaser. If somebody
yeah,
has a mental illness but has a clean background and they have an undocumented mental illness, they are an approved purchaser. They are not yet on the government's radar.
right.
How are you supposed to know what that person is going to do with that rifle? You're talking about precog from
Yeah,
Minority Report. I think we talked about this in the last episode.
we did. You know, you cannot play on the what if.
Right.
And
None of us know the future,
yeah,
man.
that is a good and a scary thing.
Yeah.
Because I always the older I get, the more I appreciate being able to work with or interact with anybody on the benefit of doubt.
Yeah.
You've done nothing wrong to me.
Hmm.
I'm going to think of you as innocently as I can and be respectful.
Yep.
But if I know you're on the front page of the news as the town jerk,
Or the town criminal.
right, then I'm going to treat you differently.
Right.
And I'm gonna be wearing my, um, Everly stock fanny pack, you know?
I know what's in that fanny pack.
Yeah, my insulin pens.
Yeah.
Um, but I at the end of the day, and I think I've said that a few times, but it is people's rights. It is Americans, citizens' rights to own firearms. But I agree that there should be a little bit of legwork to making sure that only law-abiding citizens have these firearms.
Hold on a second. I got to stop you right there. The government, they don't treat people on a case by case basis. Our Minnesota state government wants to punish people as a mass, as a whole.
Yeah,
Governor Tim Walz wants to infringe upon our Second Amendment rights here in the state of Minnesota. And he has come out and said he wants to ban AR 15s in the entire state of Minnesota. He is not concerned about the criminals.
no.
The way the government does things is they don't do things on an individual level. They punish everybody as a whole.
There is enough people employed by the federal government, by the state government, where they could very well handle the workload of a case-by-case basis.
They could.
Yeah, and they should.
Government efficiency. You ever heard that one before?
It doesn't exist.
How efficient is the government? Not.
Not.
Right.
No.
I'm just
And
saying, we're
and
talking about infringement. We're talking about machine guns. Should people be owning machine guns? But honestly, when it comes to infringement, our state government, our governor wants to take AR 15s away from law abiding gun owners in the state of Minnesota. You and I have never committed a crime with a firearm ever in our life. That's like saying we had a drunk driver last week. We're banning all vehicles.
right.
We're not going to punish the one guy who
Well,
drove drunk. We're
that's
taking all the vehicles in the entire state.
that's like saying I'm gonna ban all Ford Escorts.
Yeah.
Like, that's
What sense does that make?
that's obnoxiously specific,
Yeah.
you know, and
That's a
but
better point. Ford Escorts only.
right. But
Mhm.
is it infringement to ban only a specific kind of firearm?
Yes.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes. You know,
Absolutely.
but that's why a few minutes ago I asked you is
All these cars drive. You
yes,
can't just remove a Ford Escort from the road.
and make it better,
It's not going to make
right?
anyone safer. There's still the same number of vehicles on that highway.
Because nobody drives a Ford.
Well, in Minnesota, a whole lot of people drive a Ford Escort.
Yeah, probably.
I mean, there's a lot.
Um,
I've got 10 Ford Escorts in my closet right now.
got a big closet.
I collect Ford Escorts.
You know, a
I
few
got
minutes.
black ones, zombie green ones, Deadpool red ones. I mean,
I learned something
white
new about
snow
you today.
camouflage.
You collect Ford Escorts. Is it a matter on the year?
It's an
front-wheel drive?
analogy, Mike.
I know, but or a metaphor.
I have a unicorn Ford Escort. It's got glitter on it.
I want to see this Ford Escort.
It's down there.
Yeah. Still, you got a big closet. Quite a big closet.
I'm not coming out of the closet yet, by the way.
Hope you never do.
I'm staying in there with the Ford Escorts.
Ford Escort, some scotch, cherry Coke, and a TV.
Where were we?
I don't know. Well, I was talking about, you know, where do you draw the line at firearm?
Mm,
You know, like a tank is not a firearm.
that's the thing. It's a slow progression. It's an inch by inch
right?
progression.
But I think there needs to be a huge line that cannot move,
Yeah.
will never move between
Mhm.
what is and is not a firearm.
Yep.
And I think that if and I think it should be on a ballot. And I know it will be something that will go back and forth forever, but that is the democracy we live in,
Yeah.
or democracy. Put it on a ballot. Where should that line be? If it can be,
We're gonna
if
have people on this video that are gonna say we don't live in a democracy.
I know
We're a
that's
constitutional republic.
yeah, and that's why I questioned
I know,
myself.
I saw the
Like,
hesitation.
and hold me accountable. Comment
Tomato,
section,
tomato, yeah.
right? And it at what point does it no longer become a firearm? And then we can get beyond the Second Amendment and the infringement. If it's a tracked vehicle,
Yeah.
then I don't think it's a firearm. It is a destructive machinery.
My Bobcat is a tracked vehicle,
You know what I'm
but
yeah,
now we're getting into the features that make something deadly.
but that was if you could establish this wall and all the characteristics and get extremely specific on what does and does not make a firearm.
They've done that. Like in California, for example, you can buy an AR-15 in California, but it has this weird funky grip on it, so you can't grip the grip properly. It has a bullet button, so it literally takes a bullet to hit the magazine release, so you can't do fast reloads. It has no flash hider, so you can't put a suppressor on it, and therefore it is safe for California use. So when you start breaking things down like that, like you mentioned tracked vehicle,
But at the federal
my
level,
Bobcat is a tracked vehicle, so is it an AR-15?
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It
Yeah,
has the
right.
features of it.
And I understand with the intent of the user.
Mhm.
If you wanna do a lot of harm, you can get into a pickup and drive through that crowd.
Killdozer.
Right.
That was a bulldozer,
Yeah.
and the dude leveled a town.
Yeah. It's the intent of the
Intent.
individual.
Yeah. And
Um,
what makes a
I
tool dangerous?
d
The person.
yeah, and what I think would be great to talk about in a few episodes, or maybe even next episode, is the rise in ill intent is with almost perfect contrast with the reduction in people who go to church
Yeah. And
or
that's
religion.
or the you're talking about the link to life having value.
Right. Yeah. But I almost want to try and make my own version of where would I, if I was in charge of all of it, where would I draw that line? Where would it no longer be considered a firearm that would be applicable or protected under the Second Amendment?
Mhm.
Because if it was caliber, 50 caliber, they got muzzle loaders that are 50 cal.
The
You know,
government wants to take away 50 cal rifles and body armor for civilian use and night vision. So the government is almost like your dad handing you the keys to the Ford Escort and saying, I'm going to trust you with this vehicle as long as you follow the rules, but break the rules one time and I'm taking the keys back. But was that the way our Constitution was written?
no.
Was our Constitution written in a way where the government could take the keys back from the citizenry? I don't think so.
Well, and that's why we have case law,
Every time there's a mass shooter, they're like, we're taking the keys back from everybody.
and that's wrong.
Yes.
Yeah, that's you take that one individual and hold that one individual responsible, and I think everybody would be a lot happier about it.
And don't blame the Ford Escort.
Right.
Blame that person,
Yeah.
prosecute that person to the fullest extent of the law.
Yeah. Because the ammo didn't do it.
Nope.
The
The Ford Escort didn't do it.
right. The sling didn't do it. The scope didn't do it. The magazine didn't do it. The M16 didn't do it. That person and their digits, they did it.
Yeah.
That's where you hold accountability. How many people do you think it would take if we drug them back outside and just in front of a firing squad, gave them as they gave everyone else, and we're
You
done?
know, my dad has been saying this for years. My dad, he's been saying, bring back public executions and all of this nonsense is going to stop.
Yes. Yeah. You
And I'm
know,
like,
it
he's right.
it would make people think twice or 3 times or 4 times,
Yeah.
or just say it's not worth it.
Yeah.
Because people today can go they can go wreak havoc,
Yeah.
and they could kill people
Mhm.
and get 3 hots in a cot for the rest of their life
Yep.
on the backs of taxpayers.
Yep.
Now, you wanna talk about benefits being received when they're not
Oh
earned,
gosh,
there you go.
dude.
But I don't agree with that. I think you the gavel falls and they're found guilty, you drag them back out and you're done with it. You drag them out into public and you handle it.
Yeah.
The sentence is given,
Yeah.
there's no appeal, there's no 20 years of
You know, in Singapore, if you get caught stealing, they cut off your hand.
same thing in Iraq,
Yeah.
in what do they call it, Mecca?
Yeah.
Or, I've watched I've watched people get their hands cut off.
Are you serious?
Yeah. Yeah, over in Iraq, we were in Baghdad, and we had one of our
I got a
MRAPs.
crazy question. What do they do with the hand?
I don't think they did
You
anything.
didn't stick around long enough to find out?
I think I think they were more concerned or more invested in the person squealing,
Okay,
you
good
know,
point.
'cause it just I think they had a bucket and everything just fell into the bucket, but they held him down in this big and they let him bleed for a minute, and then they stop it, and then people are yelling. Everyone there, it's like in, what, North Korea, everyone's in support of it. No one
Because I
no
don't
one
wanna be next.
yeah, no one wants to hold a
No.
protest sign at that, or
No.
they'll cut both your hands off.
Mhm.
Um, we
Wow.
we are extremely fortunate to live in this country,
Yes, we are.
and is it perfect? No.
No.
Will it ever be perfect? No.
No.
It is the laws and the Constitution that shape our freedoms and liberties as citizens of this country, it's all fluid
I had
and
a
it evolves.
I had a lady in my permit to carry class yesterday. She was from the Philippines, not yet a US citizen, has a green card, and is becoming a citizen in under a year, and she took our permit to carry course. And she was telling me after the class that her husband wanted to move to the Philippines with her. And she said, no, 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 no. We are not moving to the Philippines. We are not giving up an opportunity to live in this country
Yeah.
because the Philippines isn't is terrible. The gangs, the violence, no military, no guns. The criminals run the streets in
Yeah.
the Philippines. It is not safe. It's not clean. You can't drink the water. Like so many things we take for granted. I can go drink the water out of my faucet and I won't get sick.
Yeah. You could
90% of the earth, you can't do that.
you could tell Governor Walz face to face to go to hell and go home and sleep in your bed and and be fine.
Yeah.
You do that in anywhere,
Oh, yeah.
you know,
You're going to be breaking rocks
or
for the rest of your life.
if you don't see the sunset,
Yep.
you know. By that I mean they could just end you on the spot.
Yep.
And I used to say that people should go live in other countries to learn to appreciate what they have here.
Yeah. It's
And
good advice.
and I don't give that advice anymore. I just wish or hope that people try and understand that it could be worse. And that's not me supporting any level of control, any level of dictatorship.
Hmm.
That's just as I sit here, I know it could be worse. And because I know that it could be worse, I appreciate what I have.
Yeah.
But on the same hand, knowing it could be better, that's why I have a podcast.
That's, you're bringing us right back to the very first thing we talked about in this
Yeah.
podcast. You and I, we're equally thankful for the rights and the freedoms that we have
Yes.
in Minnesota right now. You can buy an AR with a normal capacity magazine, which happens to be 30 rounds. You can buy a SIG 365X macro comp that holds 17 rounds, and that is normal.
Yeah.
That's what it comes factory standard with. In New Jersey, where Jeremy is from, you can't buy any of that. And that's what we were talking about in our last
Right.
episode.
We weren't supporting anything.
No.
We weren't giving anybody an inch to take that mile.
Right.
We work in support of the Second Amendment,
Mhm.
in protection of the liberties and freedoms that we have to make sure that it is not lost.
Yep.
But can it be improved upon in the state of Minnesota? Absolutely.
Yeah.
We can do better.
And
And
have our firearms rights been infringed?
Yeah,
They have been.
they have been. But filling out a 4473 to own a firearm is a regulatory step.
Yeah.
It's not infringement.
Did you know in 1933 you could walk into a gun shop and buy a fully automatic Browning BAR a 1918 BAR off the wall.
Yeah.
You could order one in a Sears and Roebuck catalog and have it delivered to your home in 1933.
Bonnie and Clyde had one.
Al Capone happened.
Yeah.
Al Capone is the legit reason
Yeah.
why the NFA branch was started.
Yeah, it
And it was 4 machine guns, and they were like, suppressors are kind of weird. Let's just throw them in there. No one ever committed a crime with suppressors, and they threw them in with the machine guns.
I read an article recently that Al Capone's lawyer's son was a war hero.
Really?
Yeah. I'll get the deets on that and come back next week, but it was amazing that because that lawyer was just as crooked as Al Capone,
Oh, I'm sure.
and his
He
son
had to have been.
yeah, his son was like a badass. Um, but I'll get the details. I don't like leaving people hanging, and I don't like sounding ignorant, but I'll get the details on that when we come back next week.
Beginning of next episode, I expect a full historical lesson on Al Capone's son.
I'll give you an abbreviated lesson,
Okay.
and I can't talk to you during the week,
Yeah.
so, we have some agreement where we can't be friends during the week.
That's right. Otherwise, the content is gone.
I know. I don't wanna sound like I don't want this to ever be scripted.
Right.
I do like having bullet points
So we want to cover.
right, because that keeps the conversation moving, which is just awesome. But, I don't know why it rubbed me so funny to hear about, the comments that were left, and I fully support them and their comments that it's the freedom of speech, and I appreciate that they took the time to leave the comment
Hmm.
because those comments make people think.
Yeah.
Question what you know, um, but be willing to hear people out.
We should be thankful for the rights we have in
Yes,
Minnesota because you can cross over into another state and they instantly do not enjoy those freedoms because they happen to be on the other side of the border.
and that could be anything.
Hmm.
Your license,
Yep.
anything really.
Ability to own a suppressor.
Yep. It when I was a law enforcement officer in South Dakota, I was in my squad office doing my report on a Sunday, and I look out of my window and I see this vehicle parked halfway off, and we were in the squad office was in a parking lot or at the end of a parking lot for a rest area.
Hmm.
And there was this vehicle that was parked halfway off on the grass with towels up in the windows. And it had Washington plates, and I got curious and I walked out and said, "Hey, you can't be parked in the grass like this." They were,
That's the Marine Corps coming out of you.
maybe.
Stay off the grass. You've heard that before, haven't you?
Well, yeah, well, of course I did. Only dogs walk on the grass.
That's right.
Yeah, devil dogs. I I, I was walking through my front yard one time with my best friend Eric, leaving to go somewhere, and he walked around on the concrete, and he's like, "Come on, Mike, only dogs walk on the grass." And my dad's also a Marine. He's like, "Oh, Eric, I like that. Yeah, that make good for you, Eric." And I'm like, "Ah, geez, here we go." Anyway, this car was parked halfway on the grass, and I was on duty as a cop, and I
Mhm.
thought, "Why would somebody do that? That makes no sense to me. Why would someone park halfway off on the halfway?" It's like they parked too far forward into the parking space right next to a state trooper squad office. I walk out, I rap on the window, and of course, the windows were covered because husband and wife were loving each other.
Oh.
Um, Rolled the window down, smelt things that obligated my time.
Mhm.
Anyway, um, they were taken into custody, and in a search or in an inventory relevant to the arrest, there was things found in that vehicle that shouldn't have been present in the state of South Dakota
Mhm.
that were legal where they came from. Welcome to South Dakota.
Yeah.
That's all I could say.
Were they from California?
They were from Washington.
Ah, yeah.
Um, and yeah, that I haven't thought about that in a long time, but it still bothers me how that all panned out. Uh, you can only do so much for them to get their help, and they didn't get their help, and they went back to old habits, and well, they paid for it. But and anyway, back on topic here. I ask for myself included, you included, everybody that listens to these podcasts, everybody that owns a firearm. I know you know your rights, but understand your rights. Where do these rights come from?
Mhm.
but what are your responsibilities?
Yeah. With rights come
Responsible.
responsibility.
And though the Second Amendment is very brief, it's a very brief statement, it is molded and shaped, and its boundaries are set forth by case law. And there have been a lot of case laws set forth lately that has protected the Second Amendment, that
Mhm.
has helped the Second Amendment. Has some come forth that have ruffled a lot of feathers and seem to have clashed with the Second Amendment and been be perceived by some as infringement? Yeah.
Yeah.
But is it infringement? Question that. And when you hear a judge decide something and it has to do with firearms, just ask yourself, is it really infringement or do I just not agree with what the judge said? You know, and we're always going to have this as society grows, as technology grows, case law will change. As people continue to do harm to others with firearms, case law will change, and it will help to continue shape the Second Amendment, and the Second Amendment's shape will change.
Mhm.
I don't necessarily like that, but if there comes a day where there becomes a fully automatic laser machine that people can buy that causes harm,
Mhm.
maybe there should be case law that dictates who can and cannot own that and when it can and cannot be used.
Yeah.
I don't want someone pulling up to the middle school where my kids go and unloading because case law didn't talk about that type of arm.
Yep.
So it is an amazingly large topic that will forever be debated. But these kinds of debates are what shaped our Constitution. These kinds of debates are what helped to shape case law, and these kinds of debates are what keep America growing. And the best way to vindicate your argument, and the best way to help justify your stance, and by your stance, I'm talking to everybody who listens to this, the best way to justify your stance on a subject, especially the Second Amendment, is voting.
Yeah.
Vote somebody into office, vote judges, or judges are appointed, excuse me, but go to the poll, hear out the politicians, and vote. That's all we can do, you know, and it will forever. I hope it's always like that.
Mhm.
It the day we lose our power in a vote is the day America is screwed.
That's right.
The day you truly have to start worrying not only about your Second Amendment, but your First Amendment and every other amendment.
That brings me up to a good point, and then we probably have to close because we're right there, right
Yeah,
in an hour. But I meet a lot of people all the time that tell me that they don't vote because they're like, "Ah, my vote doesn't matter," and I'm like, "Oh my gosh,
I
you know
used to.
how many millions of people have died so that we can vote?
Yeah,
People fight for the right to vote, and for you to just give it up and not vote because it's like, it's going to take me 10 minutes. I was going to use that 10 minutes for something else. Are you kidding me?"
I used to not worry about voting because I used to think that it didn't matter.
Oh,
One vote didn't matter. But if you had 10 million people think that one vote didn't matter,
that's the case.
and that is, yeah, and
There's hundreds of millions of people that don't vote.
I thought, was it 16 years ago or however, I thought Mitt Romney was going to be our president.
I did too.
I didn't vote,
Yeah.
and he didn't become our president. How many people thought the same way?
Yeah.
I think that every single decision that affects, influences, or pertains to our Constitution or the amendments in any way
You need to show up.
should be on a poll, should be on
Yes.
a ballot,
Yep.
and we should vote.
And how okay, explain this to me. We do everything with our cell phones.
Yeah,
Everything with our cell phones. If American Idol can have you download an app and you can vote for who you think
yeah.
is the person who should win American Idol, how are we not to the point where you can download an encrypted app on your phone with facial ID that proves that you're you, and then you vote with your phone?
I can see the good and the bad to that.
I can too, but I'm just saying nobody should be without an excuse
Right.
to vote. I mean, you
But
have to go to a polling place to vote. Is that inconvenient? Not really.
but think of it this way, was it 100 years ago, I used to have to, like, I'm reincarnated, but you used to have to be able to wake up at 0 dark 30 and get in your horse and buggy and ride to town to vote,
Yeah.
and it used to only be landowners.
Yeah.
So not only is it the responsibility, but it's every citizen's responsibility now.
Mhm.
So it isn't a luxury, it's a responsibility,
Yeah.
and it is thankfully the responsibility of every single legal-aged citizen of this country.
Mhm.
Everybody has their say, and I am thankful for that.
Yeah.
I just understand the responsibility of that duty.
Yeah.
But, like, talking about making it more possible for people to vote, there are casinos that have vans that drive around and pick people up and drop them off to take them to the casino, or like the VFW, or organizations do that for others, and for people who can't drive or don't drive. Why can't a county or a polling station have that option? Because then that would be something I'm certain a lot of people would appreciate.
You're talking about an incredible amount of logistics,
Yeah.
and we're talking about government.
But why hasn't that been, you know,
This government's not efficient.
but I don't think it's impossible.
It's not possible. I'm
I
just
think
saying it's not efficient.
I think it's incredibly possible for the one day of the year and the one day every other year and every 4 years that we vote, for the logistics to come together and the money to be possible to shuttle people to and from a polling station.
Yeah.
But that comes with risks, that comes with its ups and downs, but getting the people who don't vote in a position where they can vote,
Mhm.
I think should become a serious topic
Yeah.
for local and federal governments. And it may very well come to the point where you can get that encrypted app as long as they can make sure it's your face and your finger touching that.
Exactly. Like a
Um,
finger reader.
but the Second Amendment, like everything else, is your responsibility. Um,
We need to
it-
get rid of mail-in ballot.
yes. Oh,
Mail-in
yes.
ballots, that is the most corrupt thing I have ever seen in my life.
We also have to get rid of polling stations closing at 8 PM and ballots being counted.
Oh, yeah.
Those very mail-in ballots being counted.
Yep. Mail-in ballots is a sham.
Yep. Yep. If it starting to sound like a broken
Watch
record.
the documentary, what is it? 1,000 Mules? It's
Why
by what is his name?
it's not
That documentary by, gosh, what is his name? I wanted to say Shyamalan, but it's not.
not Mel Gibson, is it?
No, this guy, he legit went to jail. Like, Obama threw him in jail
Oh,
for this documentary. Is it 1,000 Mules or 10,000?
I think it's 10,000 Mules.
10,000 Mules?
No, but it would do me and everybody in this country a benefit to study the Constitution.
2,000 Mules by Dinesh D'Souza.
We were both wrong.
Yep, it's 2,000 Mules.
Yeah.
Great documentary.
Yeah.
You want your blood to boil? Go watch that.
Yeah. But we all should make time to just look at the Constitution
Yeah.
and really read what's in the Constitution, and then you can read the history of the amendments and the Bill of Rights and how they're shaped by case law.
Yeah.
And if anything, it would just open your eyes. It has opened mine. A lot of it I don't agree with,
Mhm.
but what one knucklehead does in his garage in Kentucky shouldn't dictate what I do in Minnesota.
Yeah.
But that's case law,
Yep.
and that's at the federal level.
Yep.
And then there's constitutional dissertations or amendments that state that there are boundaries to what states can do with a federal law. Um, To an extent, and again, I'm speaking with a bit of ignorance here because this is something I just touched on a few days ago, and I have it on my list of things to really study.
Mhm.
But the Second Amendment is a very important part of the foundation of this country, and it is an inalienable right to every citizen of this country. But it is not perfect, and with case law and with voting, it can get a lot closer to what we're looking for in a perfect Second Amendment. It'll never be perfect, but it sure can be improved,
Yep.
and I'm looking forward to that, and I hope that I can live to see it.
Yep.
But, um, yeah, this has been a wonderful podcast episode. Um, I had my idea of where I wanted it to go, and I had my intentions on what I wanted to talk about, and it went
Total
yeah,
it went everywhere.
every direction other than where I wanted it to go, and that's okay.
Yeah.
but that's a great conversation,
Yeah.
you know, and,
I'm sure we might have pissed some people off tonight.
and if we did,
Yeah.
um,
Just know that we're human
yeah, and be
and we're
pissed
talking through it, and
be
our opinions are our opinions.
and I hope that they're upset with an open mind.
Yeah.
Um, w I, as a gunsmith, love working for everybody that I get a chance to work with and work for, regardless of their stance on anything. Um, I just ask that you try and have that same respect for me and my perspective,
Yep.
you know, because I'm coming from military and I'm coming from law enforcement, and maybe my opinion and my outlook on the Second Amendment and what should and shouldn't be called a firearm is a bit skewed,
Mhm.
as I've seen firsthand what machine guns do,
Yeah.
what when you call for fire and aerial support, what that does to people.
Mhm.
And I'm certain that I shouldn't come walking out of a Walmart and see that happen, you know? Um, so I everybody has lived their lives and has experiences that helps to shape their opinions on topics.
Yep. Exactly.
Understand that I have that same.
Yeah, we
You have
all
that
we
same.
all come from different places, so that's why we all have different
Yeah.
views.
But serving in the military and defending our Constitution, I animately support you and your right to disagree with me.
Yeah.
I
Amen.
think I
Same
think
here.
that's what makes America tick.
Yep.
But
Totally
um,
agree.
real quick to change the topic, we are the Minutemen, and we, like most episodes, jump right into awesome topics and forget to talk about our watches.
Happens every time.
So let's end with that this time.
Okay.
Um, I know I put my Watch Gang subscription on hold, but I got my last. I don't know if it was my last wheel spin or if my last subscription, but I got a Sterling original, and it is a full skeleton, black with rose gold. Um, One of the neatest watches I've ever gotten from them. And I don't know if they did this to,
Make you feel bad about putting your subscription on hold?
tell me they miss me. I don't know.
That's what happened.
This is an amazing watch. I just got it in the mail last night. I put it on for the first time before we started recording. I don't even have the right time on the watch yet, but this is an amazing watch. Um, so I don't know. I thoroughly enjoy it. Sterling's a good watch company. They're not necessarily a luxury watch company, but they put themselves one person said, they put themselves above Citizen, but paralleled with Bulova,
Really?
and, you know, Citizen owns Bulova, so I don't know what to think of that, but
So they're above Citizen.
yeah.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, and that take that for what it's worth, but it's a cool watch, like, really, I love watching this automatic watch just tick. It's It's yeah, it's cool. So, my wife opened up the box on our way out here and asked if she couldn't have this watch, and I might give it to her because she doesn't ask for very much ever.
Your wife wanted it.
Yeah, and she may very well get to have it. So, I love seeing her get to wear a watch, something she doesn't get to do very much where she works, but, um, this would be the 3rd watch she's gotten in probably as many months. So, I don't know.
Hmm. I'm wearing a Dufa. I've never had this brand before. It's quite nice. It's got this really beautiful baby blue dial on it. It's got 3 hands. I can't pronounce the model of it. This is a German company.
Oh,
Um, it is a really well-made watch, and it glows exceedingly bright at night. So it's got a lot of tritium on the hour hands, but it's very pretty and it is pretty nice. And this was also my last watch from my subscription.
I think they know.
They know, yeah, they sent me this one. I was like, that's sharp.
Yeah,
It's basically an ultra lightweight skin diver watch.
I like diver watches.
I do too.
I love pilot watches. I love
It's just simple,
yeah, yeah.
sleek, not bulky.
There is such thing as having a watch that's too loud.
Yeah.
Too many hands, too many buttons.
I like those ones.
Do you?
I like this super loud watches that's got the dials and I mean, it's just huge and the strap is huge.
Do you remember that diesel watch I wore from, I can't think of the make right now, but it was big, and it was the first quartz watch I think I'd worn, on our podcast. That's about as loud as I like to get. But, the pilot watch is just slick, and, I love World War II pilot watches mainly because it puts me a bit closer to imagining what it was like to flying a B-52 and have to look down at that watch to tell the time.
Yeah, no kidding.
But I don't know.
Yep. It's time.
It's time.
All right,
Okay.
everybody. We appreciate you watching this episode. We had a really fun time just debating and getting into the Second Amendment weeds because it is
Mm.
weedy, it's murky, it's muddy, nothing is clear, and everybody has their own opinion, and nobody likes to talk about it. Um,
I think more people should get comfortable being uncomfortable talking about it
exactly.
because that's how things change.
Bottom line is America is unique. We are the only country on this planet that cherishes our Second Amendment rights because that is what ensures our First Amendment rights. If we didn't have a Second Amendment, you and I would not be able to speak freely and have a podcast where we can condemn the government for how they're handling the responsibility of governing us.
We have a Second Amendment because we have a country.
Yes.
Like, it was the desire to bear arms
Yes.
and have that freedom of speech.
Dude, we're going to get right back into it again.
Yeah, I'll
It was
shut up.
because we bared arms is
Yeah,
why we have a country.
but the necessity.
We came out of it.
Yeah,
We put down the world's most tyrannical government and started our own thing.
with our firearms.
And that is why the Second Amendment is held so dearly right behind our ability to say what we want without being condemned for it. Yeah. So, what a great way to end.
Yeah, perfect.
Appreciate you guys.
Yeah,
Join us next week. We'll be back.
thank you.
Yeah, right on. See you guys.